Mastering the Harvard Webpage Reference. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to investigate the exact elements you need to build absolutely flawless Harvard Webpage citations. Listen, if you're doing any academic research, you already know your reference list is basically the bedrock of your credibility. But let's be honest, getting the formatting right can kind of feel like trying to solve a giant, really complex puzzle. So today, we're decoding one of the trickiest puzzle pieces of the whole shebang, the Webpage reference. Let's get you a rock-solid system for citing websites perfectly every single time.
Is your webpage source actually a webpage? Okay, let's dive right into this by confronting the single most dangerous trap in academic formatting right out of the gate. We spend so much of our time online that it's incredibly easy to just assume that, well, if you found a piece of information on the internet, you should automatically cite it as a webpage. Makes sense, right? Actually, no. As we're going to see today, making that assumption can instantly derail your entire reference list. The very first question you have to ask yourself is this: just because it has a URL, is it truly categorized as a web page in the Harvard system?
The blueprint, gathering the core evidence. Getting this citation template right actually carries some pretty high stakes. Think of your bibliography like a court case. You literally have the burden of proof. You need to prove exactly where your information came from, who said it, and when they said it. You can't just throw a random web link at your reader and expect them to do the heavy lifting for you. You must provide a meticulously organized blueprint. So let's break down the exact pieces of evidence you need to pull from your source before you even touch your keyboard to start formatting it. Number 1. Author or organization. 2. Publication or update year. 3. Page title. 4. Website or publisher details. 5. Full URL. And 6. Access date. Now, what's really interesting here is how strictly this outlines the 6 non-negotiable pieces of data you simply must extract to build a valid reference list entry. Missing even one of these? Yeah, your reference is basically incomplete. That last one, the access date, is particularly vital. Why? Because websites change or they disappear entirely, so you have to establish exactly when that piece of information was actually live.
Standard citation, which is author and year, versus a precise quote, which needs the author, year, and a paragraph locator. This brilliantly illustrates the level of precision needed for your in-text citations. Usually, a standard reference just requires the author and year, generally speaking. But precision is absolutely key if you're lifting a specific, exact quote. Since web pages rarely have traditional page numbers, you need another way to point your reader to the exact spot. So, if the page features numbered paragraphs, you use a paragraph locator if your style allows for it. It's really all about giving your reader the ultimate roadmap back to your exact source material, making it undeniably clear where that specific thought originated.
The lineup. Check that the source is truly a web page. Okay, let's move on and see how this builds into the lineup phase of our investigation, where we carefully verify our suspects. You have your 6 pieces of evidence, but before you start building the citation, we need to verify your source. Remember just a minute ago when we asked if your source was actually a web page? Well, this is where you conduct that absolutely crucial check. You have to make 100% certain you're applying your gathered data to the right template. Because if you misidentify your source right now, all that perfectly gathered data is going to be formatted entirely wrong.
On one side, we have true web pages, which use the web page template, and on the other, the imposters, things like online reports, journal articles, news articles, and PDFs. The crucial point here is confirming your source is not an online report or a PDF in disguise, because the internet is literally full of imposters. Just because you found a journal article or a news story on the web, that doesn't automatically make it a web page for referencing purposes. The Harvard system strictly dictates that those specific sources use entirely different templates. You have to classify your source properly before you cite it, or your formatting will fail. For example, a PDF requires the formatting rules of its original publication type, not a standard web page format.
The informant Harvard reference generator.co.uk. Look, even citation detectives use informants, right? Once you've correctly identified that you are in fact dealing with a standard web page and you've gathered your 6 pieces of data, you don't always have to build the citation completely from scratch. You can work a little smarter by using tools designed to streamline the process. Heading over to the Harvard reference generator can automatically generate a website reference for you, giving you a massive head start by instantly piecing together that baseline structure. It really takes the pain out of memorizing where every single comma and full stop is supposed to go.
Verify the author, date, and title directly on the page before using it. Right, so here is the catch. You must never, ever blindly trust the machine. Automation is fantastic for sure, but it isn't flawless. A generator can only format the data it actually manages to scrape. And, frankly, websites frequently code their metadata pretty poorly. So the golden rule here is that the final responsibility rests entirely on your shoulders. You must always cross-reference its work manually, verifying the author, the date, and the title directly on the page yourself before it ever touches your bibliography. Do not let a poorly coded web page undermine your deeply researched paper.
You have the evidence. Are you ready to verify your references? Armed with this forensic blueprint, you can now confidently construct accurate citations and avoid the common identification pitfalls that catch so many researchers completely off guard. We've covered a lot: the 6 essential pieces of data, the nuances of precise quoting, the danger of misidentifying PDFs, and the golden rule of manual verification. So I want you to take a hard look at your current bibliography. Are sloppy citations quietly undermining all of your hard work? And more importantly, are you ready to fix them before someone else notices?